What if the document you carefully prepared isn't the document that decides where one of your largest assets goes? An old beneficiary form may direct a retirement account or life insurance policy somewhere very different from what your current estate plan says. Here's the point I want you to remember today. An estate plan is not complete until the accounts agree with it. Hi, I'm Marco Lima, and welcome to the Build Enduring Wealth podcast. If you've ever wondered whether you're making the right financial decisions for retirement, your family, or your future, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll tackle the topics that matter most, from investing and retirement planning to taxes, estate planning, and the economy, so you can move forward with greater clarity and confidence.
Today, we're looking at the beneficiary blind spot, the gap between what you intend and what your account provider actually has on file. This matters because a will or trust may not control every asset you own. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk through 3 checks. Find the instructions that are actually on file, check both the primary and contingent beneficiaries, and then ask whether those choices still fit your family, your values, and your broader plan. No panic, no complicated terminology, just a clear way to turn a hidden administrative detail into a thoughtful act of stewardship. Let's start with the basic distinction. A will generally gives instructions for property that passes through probate. A trust can provide another structure for managing and distributing assets. Account ownership determines who has rights to an account, and a beneficiary designation is an instruction recorded directly with the institution. Retirement accounts, life insurance policies, annuities, and some investment accounts can transfer according to that designation instead of following the wording in your will. Consider a simple example. A parent creates a will that leaves assets equally to 2 adult children. Years earlier, though, a retirement account named only one child as beneficiary. The account may then be handled according to the account agreement and applicable law, rather than the sentence in the will. The result varies by account, document, and state law, so treat this as education, not a legal conclusion. But the lesson is firm. Your estate documents and your account registrations need to tell the same story.
So, how do you find out whether they do? Start with an inventory, not a mental inventory, a real one. List your retirement plans, individual retirement accounts, life insurance policies, annuities, and accounts with transfer on death or payable on death instructions. Put the institution in the first column, the account type in the second, and then record the owner and the date you last confirmed the beneficiary information. Open the provider's website or call the institution. Don't rely on a form in a desk drawer. The form on file is the one that matters. Now, don't stop after the first name. The primary beneficiary is generally first in line under the applicable account rules. The contingent beneficiary is generally next in line if the primary beneficiary cannot receive the asset or has died. Many people complete the primary field and leave the contingent field empty. The primary is filled in, the contingent blank. Or worse, the contingent is someone who hasn't been part of the family for 15 years. Both levels deserve attention.
Life changes are the obvious moments to review. Marriage, divorce, remarriage, the birth or adoption of a child, the death of a loved one, a change in custody, or a new charitable intention. But time alone is enough reason. A form completed 10 years ago may still be valid and still be completely wrong for the life you're living now. Imagine Daniel and Renee opening an IRA in 2012. Renee was listed as primary and Renee's brother was listed as contingent. Then life moved forward. There was a divorce, a remarriage, and a new child. 10 years later, that account still has the old form. Nothing dramatic happened at the computer. Nobody made an intentional decision to create confusion. Nobody checked. That's the blind spot. A life transition changed the family's intentions, but the account instructions state frozen in time.
And the answer isn't always simply to type a new name into an online form. Maybe a beneficiary is a minor. Maybe someone has special needs. Maybe a trust is part of the plan. Maybe the account has tax features that make one asset more appropriate for one beneficiary than another. The right question is not just, who do I love? It's also, how should this person receive the asset? And does the account instructions support that purpose? This is where coordination matters. Compare your inventory with your will, trust, powers of attorney, and other planning documents. Then step back and consider the life behind the paperwork. Are you supporting a spouse, children, or another family member? Do you want to include a charitable organization? Are you trying to preserve assets for a particular purpose? Does the ownership structure match what you think it does? Taxes can be part of that conversation. Different assets can have different tax characteristics, and the timing or structure of an inheritance may affect the person receiving it. There isn't one universally correct formula, but there is a universally useful question. Does this designation accomplish what you think it accomplishes? Your financial advisor can help organize the review. An estate planning attorney and tax professional can address legal documents and tax consequences. When the situation is complex, bring the right people together before you make the change.
Thoughtful communication can help too. You don't have to disclose every detail of your estate plan to everyone, but the people who may help carry out your wishes should know where important documents are located and who your trusted professionals are. When appropriate, explain the purpose behind your decisions. That can reduce surprises and make it clear that the plan was intentional, not accidental. Beneficiary planning isn't only about maximizing dollars. It's about using what you've built in a way that reflects your responsibilities and priorities.
Let's bring the central idea back into focus. First, find the beneficiary instructions that are actually on file. Second, check both names, the primary and the contingent. Third, ask whether those choices still fit the people, values, and plan you have today. When those three pieces line up, your plan becomes more than a collection of documents. It becomes a coordinated expression of what matters most to you. The accounts agree with the plan, and the plan has a better chance of serving the people you intended to help.
Here's a manageable step for this week. Choose 5 accounts. Not every account in your life, just 5. Confirm the beneficiary information online or by calling the institution. Record the primary beneficiary, the contingent beneficiary, and the date you checked. Save the confirmation. Then flag anything involving a trust, a minor, a beneficiary with special needs, a recent divorce, or a significant tax or charitable question. Don't rush to make a complicated change just because this episode raised a question. Gather the facts first. Then schedule the right professional conversation. A small review today can prevent years of uncertainty later.
Beneficiary rules vary by account type and individual circumstances, so today's episode is general education, not personalized legal or tax advice. If this conversation helped you see your plan more clearly, visit mraadvisory.com/team/Marco Lima to learn more about our approach to coordinated wealth planning, retirement planning, and legacy conversations. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who could benefit. Thank you for joining me on the Build Enduring Wealth podcast. At MRA Advisory Group, we believe every financial decision is connected. Until next time, keep building enduring wealth. Your future is built one financial decision at a time.